Probably correctional officers pay, right?
Close. That correctional officers pay in California. but in Illinois, there's a particular significance to this in Illinois. And this 7,500, and this one, I'm being unfair to ask y'all about that one because this one is kind of an aggregate number. So that's not exactly right. Yes, sir.
Let's see. The first one is cost per child, maybe, and the cost per child in school, and the last one is cost per prison, maybe, something like that.
Yes. So the first one, this is how much the state of Illinois says it costs to provide a young person a quality education. Quality education. The second is how much it costs to keep a person incarcerated a year. Now, this is an adult. So this is a person, and adult in correctional systems is a very different equation. Remember, you can be convicted of a crime and tried as an adult. You don't have to be the same, you don't have to be of adult age. So when we talk about an adult, we're talking about somebody who has been tried and convicted as an adult. Someone who has been convicted and they've been caused to serve their sentence as an adult. So you got folks in this group who are as young as 15. So this is adult in Illinois. And I'll say Illinois Department of Corrections. Now, the last number is a number that I just got word of about two months ago. I'm on a board for a place called the Children and Family Justice Center. It's out of a Bloom Legal Clinic up in Northwestern. A woman named Bernadine Dorn runs it. It costs $72,000 to keep a young person in the current correctional facilities. So there's what they call youth correction centers across the state. And the one that we know the best is the one here on Hamilton and Ivy, or Hamilton and Taylor, between Taylor and Roosevelt. We often think of the Illinois Youth Detention Center, or we used to call it Artie Home. We always think about this address as being on Ogden, but when you look it up, the address is actually Hamilton, right? So, but this is how much it costs to keep a young person in, I would say, youth correctional centers. 72 grand. And I looked at that number and said, you've got to be kidding. You mean in the state of Illinois it costs $7,500 to educate a young person, it costs 72 grand to keep them in prison. Now, what's the discrepancy? And this is the issue that we're constantly addressing. So if you got $7,572 grand, and we got real troubles with this 7,500, right? You know, CPS is hurting, right? And a whole bunch of folks. And we even got the person running who used to run the buses, running the school, right? I mean, it's a trip, right? And you know, our king or mayor. Now, I refuse to call him mayor because stuff he does only kings can do, right? You can just scoop up. I don't know if y'all remember when he scooped up Midfield, and just because he wanted to. Only kings can do that, right? With no confrontation, you're a king if you can do that, right? And a king in the worst sense of the word, right? So King Daddy says, I'm not like I'm talking about somebody, you know, like I'm talking about GD or somebody. But we can call him King Daddy. King Daddy says, look, you don't need a person who has expert knowledge of an institution to run it effectively. Right? He said it's about schools, so that's why we got Ron Huberman. So all you need is a managerial expert to run schools. Now, what we know about schools is that schools are critical in interrupting this pipeline. Now, it's important to talk about this pipeline in two particular terms. And I'm going to put economics as a separate piece from class. And this is why I put gender. Currently, the population of young women who have been incarcerated since 1970 has increased 400%. Right? And of that increase, 90% of those women are incarcerated for what? fact, 92% are incarcerated for a particular offense. What they call nonviolent drug offenses. Most importantly, possession with intent to distribute, which is a prosecutorial decision whether or not the person is intended to distribute it, right? The other 8% is, like I heard somebody say, prostitution. And the other part, you don't know the other one? Murder. No, actually, but murder is a particular type of assault, or what they call a tort crime. Domestic abuse in defense of themselves, usually to a spouse, right? So 92% of the women who have been incarcerated, who are incarcerated, are there for nonviolent drug offenses. And you split that 8% between sex work and self-defense. And it just happened that somebody actually was injured in the process, and then lawyers call that tort or what have you. That's how our numbers go. In Illinois, those are the national numbers. But Illinois is almost the same. So you got this thing around race. These folks are by and large, and it's a national and in the state, Black and Latino. By and large. You don't have to ask a particular question. You got, the current statistic used to be every black male, one in four black males between the ages of 18 and 35 have had some contact with the correctional system, right? And that's 1 in 4, 25%. That's a high number. But the U.S. Bureau of Crime Statistics is even going higher. Now, and just a simple math, you got almost 1 million black folks in jail. And this is in system of incarceration, not halfway houses, not probation, not work release. These are people who are incarcerated. Almost 1 million. You got just under 40 million folks who identify themselves according to the census as African Americans. So if we do the math, that means 1 in every 40 black people have contact with the criminal justice system. If we go Latinos, you got about another 350 to 400,000 who are incarcerated in correctional facilities. You got another 500,000 who are halfway houses, work release, some form of probation. You got about just burgeoning, same numbers, about 37 million folks who identify themselves according to the census as Latino.